Hello, gals and guys. It's your host, Phil Larson, and this is your Motivational High Five on goals. Let's do this. Have you ever found yourself getting started on a new goal and being excited about it and really wanting to tell a lot of people, especially to get some encouragement behind it and to find some motivation to get going? Some of the biggest goals in your life, and you thought, the best way to get to it is to just tell everyone. And when we get that feedback, that encouraging feedback that we're looking for, it feels really good. A lot of times I've done this without really even setting any plan or deadline in place. I just thought if I could get enough people to tell me, yes, I should do it, then I'll do it. Only to find out that doesn't work very well. Here's why. I convinced myself I was looking for accountability, when in reality, I was just looking for fluff positivity. And that doesn't work. Because that feedback that helps you feel good about yourself, well, there's something that happens in the brain that tricks your brain into thinking that you've already made some forward movement on it. And this is called social reality. And it is one of the biggest killers to your goals. Because first, you convince yourself you've created a goal. Well, maybe you've heard this before, but goals without a plan or a deadline is really just a wish or a dream. Derek Sivers does a great TED Talk on this, where a large number of people were asked to pick a goal and work on it for a maximum of 45 minutes. And at any point, if they wanted, they could be done working on it. And half of the people were required to announce their goal to the room, and the other half were to keep it to themselves. Well, the group that announced it to the room did not work for the entire 45 minutes. On average, they quit earlier, and they reported to feeling closer to the completion of their goal. Whereas those who didn't announce it to the room worked for the entire 45 minutes and felt that they had a long ways to go to complete their goal. If we're just looking for satisfaction, it turns out, for someone to say, yes, you go do it, without any plan in place, then we're not going to do it. The main thing is announce your goals when you're ready to move forward and announce it in a way that doesn't give you immediate satisfaction. Ask for accountability. Ask for someone to kick your butt. And another way to get stuck on our goals is to step back and look at the big picture. From too far a distance, a goal of losing 50 pounds, for instance, or completing some big project really seems impossible, and we rarely get started because perfectionism gets in the way. We go, this is what it looks like, and I don't know that I can get there. But if we do something else, by slicing it down into bite-sized, actionable steps, then it's possible. There's this great story that author Donald Miller tells in his books and podcasts. He talks how he would take a group of individuals hiking, and at one point in the hike, they needed to cross a rushing river. And were they to fall in, they would fall down a waterfall. And from a distance, these people go, no, there's no way I'm doing that. There's no way I'm crossing this river. And Donald Miller invites them to come take a closer look. And they found that there was a way to cross the river. There were stepping stones. There was a path that they could get from one rock to the next. If you slice down your big goals, there's a way. This is the plan we need in place before announcing our goals. For me, as a composer, and as I mentioned in episode 22 on fear, I had an opportunity to score a Malaysian reality TV show, and our deadline was 2 months. And I had already scored one TV show for them, and that season took 4 months. And from far away, looking at the big picture, 2 months seemed unrealistic. When I began to piece down and time out what I thought every single song would take, I had these inputted into a task management system. And if all went according to plan, I would be done by the end of 2 months. I tried my hardest to stick to that plan, and we did it. What goal do you want for yourself? What plan are you going to make to get there? Be careful with who you tell. Protect your goals. Keep them sacred. They are commitments. I don't know about you, but I used to mock goal setting because after a while I would try over and over again and fail. I found now the best way to approach it is to be suspicious of yourself. There's a healthy thing about learning from your past and not really trusting yourself. Sometimes the healthiest people to help us achieve our goals asks us the hard questions. Can you really do this? What sort of plan do you have in place? Sometimes it's not what we want to hear, but a lot of the times it's what we need to hear. So what do we need to do? First, create a plan of action. Leonardo da Vinci has this great quote, "Iron rusts from disuse, water loses its purity from stagnation, even so does inaction sap the vigors of the mind." And the second thing about our goals, don't give up on the goal because it isn't being achieved the way you want it to be achieved. Confucius says, when it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. I've mentioned that I've set a weight loss goal for myself that involved a year of losing a half a pound a week. Well, I've gotten off a little bit, but what I realize is that getting there is the goal. If it takes longer than a year, that's okay. Instead of trying to catch up by losing more than a half a pound a week, I'm going to readjust to where I'm at now and continue to lose a half a pound a week till I reach that goal weight that would be healthy for me to lose. And so we really need to give up some perfectionism on how we reach our goals. Our goals can be reached if we ourselves take them seriously. And here we are at the end of this episode, and I invite you guys to take this seriously. This part of the episode where we trust the research that has been done in neuroscience. You know, as we've said, neuroplasticity shows that our brain has the possibility of being rewired. And this is done through the positive storytelling. If you want more information on this, visit episode 15, parts 1 and 2. We can change it by inviting new narratives into our lives. And so we do this through an affirmation while looking at ourselves through a reflection in a mirror. And today, when you find a reflection, will you say this? I can achieve my goals through honest accountability and the planning out of my actions. For me, that is a hard thing to believe. There are so many goals that have just fallen by the wayside. A lot of that because I felt like I could do things on my own. And I've found out too many times that I can't. I need serious accountability. I need people to ask me the hard questions. I even need to ask myself and be suspicious of myself and ask the hard questions of myself. Do I mean what I say? Am I living true to my word? And so it really comes down to you. Are you just looking for a good pick-me-up? Someone to give you some encouragement, and that's enough? Or are you willing to ask yourself, do I really want this? Your goals require you to be all in. It starts with you.